Welcome to another episode of Health Creators. This is Liv, and I'm joined here today by Marvin Abert, founder and CEO of Remi Health. So, Marvin, can you give us an elevator pitch?
Sure, sounds good. Hi, Livy. First of all, thanks for having me. So, Remi, we are the first clinic for STIs. So we basically created a platform where you can easily test on all STIs, so sexual transmitted infection. And we just created a kit which you get sent to your home, and you do the test in the comfort of your place and get a result in between 2 to 3 days directly. Everything is totally anonymous, and if there is anything reactive or positive, you get a consultation with one of our doctors.
Awesome. Why did you decide to start this company?
So why did we just start Remi?
Do you have a funny story?
So, actually, yes. I have a really funny story. Most people don't believe it because it's maybe too funny. And every founders need a good story for a startup. So, me and I basically went to a doctor, want to do an STI test after I have been abroad for a longer period. Just said, let me do a testing here. So I had to wait 4 weeks to get my appointment in Berlin. 4 weeks.
4 weeks,
yeah,
wow.
It takes quite a bit of time. And then the doctor asked me what I want to test on. And I'm like, I don't know, you tell me. And he said, we could test on that, but this is going to cost you like an amount. I said, you know what, just do the highest package. I'm going to pay. I mean, I came here to do a test and I want some recommendation of how...
test me on everything.
Test me on everything, yes, exactly. And he basically then tested me. And then after 6 weeks, I was a bit worried because I didn't hear anything back from them. So I gave them a call, said, is there anything about my results or can you let me know what happened? Then they said, due to data privacy, I need to go there again to get my results and speak to the doctor. So I went there again, waited, and then the lady, the nurse, walked in and said, the person for the HIV test should come up now. And this was so embarrassing.
She said it in front of the people in the waiting room?
Yes, there were 6 people waiting. And she walked in and said, the guy for the STI test should come up, please. So I got my result on a piece of paper. Basically, I was negative on everything. So that was the positive outcome out of the story.
Yeah. But it took 12 weeks, basically.
Basically it took me 12 weeks to get my STI
So
status.
were you still negative?
Yes. So, and this was the story with it. And then I met Anthony, my co-founder, and he came from the e-commerce space. I have been working in the health tech before, where I did working a lot with preventive care and blood and urine testings. So it was quite a good match to creating such a mission to fight STIs.
Cool. How long have you been doing this for?
So we have founded the company in June 2021.
Okay.
And have since then now started to sell our first kit in March last year, and now have really I think we are one of the biggest providers, and we really try to destigmatize the whole topic, so we're not having the branding like a normal doctor page, I don't know, teleclinic, or there's a couple of more in that space which do the proper medicine. We also do that, but we really have kind of a branding which is more destigmatizing. And I mean, STI testing is such a normal thing, is going to a doctor and asking for a cough or something, and we really want to get into that topic, help people, and just destigmatize it, that more people getting tested and get easier treatment, because it's just a big gap in between that field. So we just want to fight that and help that tests are easily accessible.
Is the idea also that by specializing in STI testing, you can basically onboard facilities that do the testing and kind of basically scale the number of tests, et cetera, and reduce the costs for testing?
Exactly. Yeah. So I have to say that we are vertical integrated. So we have an own lab which runs all the quality regulations. But definitely we try to work more and more with charities, try to support them, try also to make tests as cheap as possible, so that people are really want to assess it and want to get tested, because this is also, of course, if it's too expensive, then you maybe not get tested because you think, maybe I do it later. So we try to give the best affordable price which is possible. And also, of course, want to definitely working together with more and more doctors, because, of course, we're also having patients which might have an STI and then they need treatment. So we help them to guide them and tell them, okay, go to these doctors and they can give you a treatment, or you get an antibiotic, or in worst case scenarios, you have maybe like a syphilis or an HIV, but like in our world today, you can really do something and can treat it, and you have the same life expectations with a person who's maybe HIV positive reactive compared to a person which has like a high blood pressure. So you really can do something if you know you have an STI. So you can fight this STI, and if you get the treatment, you can expand your life.
I see. I think that there is so much stigma still towards STI testing and STIs in general. But it's almost like the reason they exist, right?
Exactly.
Because if like it wasn't so stigmatized and people were willing to talk about it, then probably the rate of infections and the rate of transmissions would be lower.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have a funny story to that, because we have met on the Bits and Pretzel Health Stack, and I was talking to a founder.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say something crazy happened.
No. And I talked to a founder out of the space, and he sells like condoms, and I mean this is an obvious product, and you can like make easy performance marketing, and you will talk and tell, I found my perfect size, or I have this condom, they have an amazing branding, but you don't sit in like with your girlfriends or boyfriends and chat and say, you know what, I have made this amazing STI tests. So we're still having that stigmatized feel. So, and we really want, due to our brand, that people think, Remi is a cool brand, so I can talk about it. So I don't have to like, it's an STI and I can't talk about it. It's really like, I can speak about it, and I can speak openly about it and can exchange, and it's not something bad. It's just, do it. I mean, and if you have something, you get help.
I feel like there's like a gap in the market where, you know how like, this is like a combination between like Apple Wallet and how you can like scan QR codes on like LinkedIn or WhatsApp. It's like, what if you had this like Apple Wallet QR code essentially that your prospective partner could scan, and they just know like, okay, you're clean or you're not, right? Or like here are the risk factors of this individual.
Yeah, I mean, Olivia, I love the idea. We're in Germany, and I think this will take quite a bit of time.
So we're like, can I scan?
Can I scan it? And then like, I mean, the idea is great, and it's actually the best approach, because then people would start talking about it, would check their STI status, and everyone is clear. And like in a perfect world, we wouldn't have then any STIs anymore. I mean, you could say, okay, no HIV anymore, because everybody knows their STI status, and you scan it and you say, let's meet, have some fun, and everybody is basically.
Exactly. Or like you can even upload it to like your dating profile.
Totally. And so when this NFC hype came up, actually I talked to guys and said, you know what?
Let's turn your STI testing into an NFT.
Exactly. And then he goes like, we could put this on the blockchain, and then like everybody knows the status. I mean, it's a great idea, but I think in Germany probably they're not open-minded enough. But I think for the US market, maybe where we look to go into in the next years, that could be definitely something. And this is also like a market where people would probably be open to that, because they are even actually much more open to talk about that topic than here.
But do you think Berlin is unique to the German market? Because we're in Berlin now, and I guess people might be more liberal and open here versus like rest of German market.
I definitely agree. So in Berlin, much more people are aware of the topic. We have a bigger community of sex positive. Everybody talks openly about STI status and sex. and this is a totally great and valuable thing. And I agree that, yeah, Berlin is the capital city probably of that topic. And if you
In
go
the world,
yeah,
right?
in the
Yeah.
world maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
you're from London, and I know London is also really open to the topic.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it is open, but Berlin is, yeah, definitely Berlin is unique. If you go to Munich or Hamburg, it's a changing view on that topic. But also there, it becomes more and more open, and we see that our customers, they are all over in Germany.
Yeah.
But definitely Berlin is unique for that
Yeah.
field.
I mean, your business would not work in like Asia.
Are you sure about that?
I feel like it's still so controversial.
Yeah.
Like it's very like sex negative still.
Yeah, but I would disagree because
Really?
I think it would work where you in these countries where you not speak about it at all. It would work the
better.
best because you can anonymously get
Yeah.
tested, get a result, and even anonymously talk to a doctor and get recommendations of what you could do. And if you are like more and more open and everybody talks about it, then it's not like a taboo topic.
Yeah.
And then you maybe even think like, yeah, I can go to a doctor because you know what, I don't care, I just talk about it. But in these countries, you maybe wouldn't go to a doctor because the doctors maybe know your parents or your friends.
That's
and then
true.
It's maybe a weird moment to sit there and go like, your daughter was here yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit depending. So I'm not 100% sure about that. But that's definitely something. If we have the German market, we will first of all expand in the European market. But I mean the Asian market and the Arabian market is really interesting too. So.
I guess people just like things to be easier
Yeah.
because I mean nowadays if I have to call a restaurant to book versus just like booking online, I'll probably pick the restaurant. I can just book online because I don't even want to make a phone call. So it's kind of similar where it's like this is just like a way you can do the entire process without having to interact with a human, which can just be simpler and easier, right?
I mean, it's for our users, it's actually also easy math because you just can go, you save making an appointment, wait for the appointment, go to the appointment, have your doctor's consultation, and then maybe have to go there a second time to get your results. I don't know, you've probably saved 20 hours of your life, and that's probably something valuable. And then at the moment we are like only on self-payer basis. As I said, like we really try to give it really cheap. So our best seller is 79 euros, the STI 5. And this goes really well. And people are saying, okay, it's fine. I pay this money to not have all these waiting time. And it's just much more easier. As you said, it's like with the restaurant. You would probably pay in euro to get a reservation just online easily instead of going on the phone, waiting, then nobody picks up or they are not open. And that's also something which makes it much easier.
Interesting. I mean, I think the way you build the company would probably also have to incorporate some sort of sensitivity, right? But at the same time, when we're talking about like product development, a lot of it is customer discovery and talking to prospective customers. But then how do you like approach people who need STI testing and say, hey, like I'm trying to build this app. Like, would you use it, or like, how did you onboard like the first customers to basically build the app with?
So first of all, you of course have the performance marketing. So you have people which are just having a problem, then they Google it or they do a search.
So you started off probably just landing page.
Exactly,
and ads.
landing page.
Okay.
And then look if is there in demand. Do we have a search volume? Do people really look for that? Do people want that product? And then we found out, yes, they do. And then we also found out that not just people, like, you don't sit there and think like, I should do an STI test. That's not basically. It's more about, I hear from a friend, they had something, so I should get tested too. Or like we have we are now trying to work more and more with charities to basically push it out more. I mean, I don't know if you're aware of the campaign, but we have a big campaign called Liebesleben, and they basically write everywhere in the city, I still think about you because you're still itchy. Like, and stuff
I
like
still
that.
think about you because you're still itchy.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
to make awareness on that topic, but they don't have a solution. So there's no solution. They just say, yeah, you might have an STI.
You should just post Remi Health under all their ads.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, then we probably have a lawsuit, but
Really?
that's why we wouldn't do it. But it's just, it's so easy, and they don't give you any solution. And they put so much money on that campaign, but there's no solution for it. And we more and more try to work with charities to say, hey, here's a solution for that problem. Just get tested. Of course, condom usage is really important, and protected sex is really important. But it's maybe not always happening. Maybe some problems occur. So just get tested. It's so easy. Yeah. And that's something how like we saw that there's a big awareness also over social media. But also social media is quite difficult because if you talk about HIV, STIs, then Meta is not your best friend.
Oh, do they block you from posting ads? So what's like the nuance of like, do you have to like kind of show photos but not say it in the ad descriptions or like?
Exactly. So you can do photos, videos, but you cannot really say some words. I mean, now they made it a bit more easier, so you can tell a couple of words and it is possible. But all in all, it's still, I think for the whole sex tech industry and femtech, it's quite hard.
What, so if you like post the word sex on an ad, do you just like get banned immediately?
Or, I mean, TikTok does this now with, are you 18? Then click agree and then you can see it. But yeah, we try to avoid that. So we just play the words that people still understand it. In the beginning, we had really big problem. Now STI is allowed, so you can say STI, which helps us a lot. But yeah, that's something we really try to figure out. But we also see that due to media, the field gets more awareness. So
due to
the media. So with Remi, we got some awareness, and we see that people are now more and more trying to think about it and talk about it. So we really hope that the whole market will be more open and talk about it, and that you can of course then make more advertisement and be much more open. Because like saying like, you're still itchy from your last date, it's I don't know, they make these big posters everywhere and then you don't have a solution. I don't really get the sense behind it so much.
Yeah, I guess it's like this awareness piece. I wonder if you could like work with the clubs in Berlin as well. Yeah. So
we are also starting cooperation with some clubs.
Cool.
So we try now also to
offer testing.
Yes, to more and more.
So like before you get in the club, you can get a free entrance if you get tested.
So honestly, we now...
Or package it together, the ticket and your test.
That would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Like full-on package. We now have basically...
They have like Kit Kat.
Kit Kat, Berghain, like there's a couple of places. It's just we are more and more trying to figure out how their target group wants it, because they don't want to talk too much openly about it. I mean, it's not clear, so we try to see, okay, what is the best way to do it? With the ticket, that would be nice for us, but I think that's going to take some time. But we now have a prior kit, meaning you can get tested, get your result next day. So you know I get my result next day. So this helps if you go in a club or go on like maybe sex parties, then you know, okay, I have my result. I know I got my STI status under control.
Yeah. Have you heard like patient stories come back to you to like say, wow, like you really like saved me, or it's like, is that less of a thing?
I'm not a doctor, so I'm not really speaking with the patients which we are having. That's more on the doctor's side, and
I guess because it's so anonymous, you know. Like if I was building like a digital solution for I don't know, cancer,
Yeah.
probably patients would email to be like, thank you or something. But I
Yeah.
guess with like,
We had
Yeah.
of course. I mean, due to customer service, you get some good reviews, you get some
Yeah.
good emails. We got a lot of good, we have a 75% NPS score, so we see in our surveys that people are really happy. But we want to keep it anonymous, so I'm not going to tell me. Did you had a great experience talking with our doctor? So we just, I think people are so far really happy because
Yeah.
we see that we have a good retention, but I can't really I don't have any stories.
What's been like the most like challenging thing about building Remi?
So I think the biggest challenge you have on two sides. So first is of course regulations, data privacy in Germany, because I mean on the one hand side you have the whole field of medical device regulation, and on the other side you have the whole IVD, so in vitro diagnostic. And this is a big regulational field, and you have to find out how all these regulations work and how you like step into that and make it also under the highest quality standards, but also easy for the patient. And this sometimes goes a bit not so well with each other. But we see, I mean, now we have found out the way that we are on that side really strong. Took us a year before we could start to figure out this all out. And now, the data privacy, of course, is always a topic here in Germany. And you have a lot of critics more from the bureaucratic side, from people which come to you and like basically the federal, which ask you, not the patients are, they say, oh, you know what, if you help me, I give you my data because I know it's I mean, we have the highest standards, everything is under DSGVO, so this all works out. So GDPR, we 100% GDPR, and this works out everything well, but this took us quite a bit of time to get all these improvements and figure everything out so that it works.
So to basically figure out the balance between high quality standard and compliance versus like ease of use and user interface design.
And exactly, like this is the second point, which I would mention, is to understand the target group. Because the target group could be everyone. Could be you, me, like everyone want to get easily access to that tests, but everyone has a different idea of why they want to get tested. And to crack that, it took us also a bit of time.
So in terms of why people want to get tested, do you see gender differences? So between women who want to get tested, men who want to get tested, and do you see age differences? So are your audience more younger people when they're older people? How does it differ?
Good question. So we are 50-50. So it's gender neutral. So everyone tests. And for the second question is we have more like I would say an older patients.
Yeah.
So starting from 25 to 50 is probably the major patient age. I just think it's also maybe because when you're super young, you don't think so much about the topic. But when you're getting into a specific age, then you might
like post 25, you're I should probably care about this.
Yes, because I mean, if you look later, also on like getting children, then you have the problem that if you have a chlamydia for a longer period, you can't get a kid. And
I didn't know that. So if you have chlamydia for a long period of time, you become infertile? Male and female?
Yes, both.
Okay.
It can happen for both. It's also, of course, depending on which subtype and how long you carry it with you. But I read from the Federal Medical Institution here in Germany, they released a paper that every 8th woman has problem getting a kid later due to having a chlamydia when they were younger. So, and we see that's a big problem we want to tackle because it's just an easy test, antibiotics for 5 days, and then you're good to go.
Yeah. So you think like women basically kind of one of the reasons why they get tested is fertility. Is that less of the case for men?
I think it's for both, because men can
both.
also get infertile due to
Okay.
that problem. So I think it's for
Yeah.
both. But also, I mean, we also see that a lot of people get tested when they coming into new relationships.
Oh,
so,
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
we're going to kick off a little kid like a
Oh, well,
partnership starter kit.
oh, that's so cute.
So start your relationship.
Start your relationship on the right
Yes,
track.
yes. So we're gonna have some partners there as well. Finding out some strategic partnerships and look, okay, what do you need for your best start in terms of
Like
sex?
a relationship starter kit.
Yes.
That's really cool.
In the sex
Yeah.
field, yeah, that's something we are just working on right now.
That's cool. What other behaviors have you noticed around testing? Like what's one of the most interesting things you've learned about testing and testing behavior in the last couple of years?
I mean, obviously we kicked out in COVID times, and people are getting more and more used to home testings with a quick test, for example, and people are getting more and more, I want to control myself, I want to find out more about my health, but not on doing surveys or having to speak to a doctor, more based on evidence. And due to test results and blood values or urine values or basically sample values, you're getting blood or urine results, and you can have real evidence of what you can do. I mean, the whole trend with longevity, supplement companies is more and more getting into evidence. So of course you can supplement something, but how much they need, how much does my body need? We're all different. So I really have learned, and we see that there's more and more people are interested in testing.
Yeah. And of like the entire process from starting till now, in terms of like building the company, what have you found to be one of the kind of core reasons why you've been able to succeed?
So first of all, I think like our mission is really to, I mean, it's a big mission, but you have to have a big mission that there is a zero HIV. So we just want to like really fight that and help that this disease doesn't spread anymore. Even if you can treat it now, it would just be great to support more and more people. And for Remi, we really now see that there's like more and more people are interested in testing. So we want to help others to assess these tests easily, and maybe even help other companies to also offer a similar portfolio in cooperation with us, so that more and more people just can get tested, and that it's more and more like a control. And maybe one day we come to what you said, the Remi app, which you have in your connected
Apple
to
Wallet.
Tinder profile or your dating app, and you just go, look, I have no STI, and then I still would recommend protection, but maybe then people have to do what they do. They're all mature enough. So I think that's really our mission statement to enable to easily and quick assess testing.
Like informed decision making.
Yes, exactly.
And what's the number one thing you would recommend for someone who wants to build a healthcare startup?
So first of all, look at the regulations before you start. And then I would really recommend in the healthcare field, because you see with a lot of healthcare players, in my experience, that they try to tackle a lot of problems. In my former startup, I also did. I want to do preventive care, and preventive care is just a big word. And now with Remi, we focus on one particular problem. And I think that is the best way to do it, because medical is so bright, and all the dots belong to each other, and they have to be connected, because it's a testing for a person which is negative or non-reactive. It's easy, you get the result and there is nothing. But what happens to the person which have an STI? They need to get treatment. They need to have follow-up appointments. And that's always the case. So you should always look on what do I want to build and what do I want to deliver in a health tech field. What is my problem? And then look at the target group, and then of course look for the people which have nothing, and then look for the people which are having diseases, and how can you help them to treat it also more easily.
Yeah, I mean, in your case, there's like quite a bit of scenario modeling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you have probably like a host of different tests,
Yeah.
which could all either be like positive, negative, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you have to basically model out like what are you going to do in each scenario.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to model out, and then you're also, I mean, it's still a digital service. This is also something with digital healthcare. I mean, we don't have the patient in front of us. If it's older lady which has 3 children and doesn't want to get any more kids, and the diseases wouldn't do anything to her body, and she doesn't have any side effects, she don't need to take antibiotics, because antibiotics can create resistances. So it's always a bit of a decision. So that's why we also giving consultations to people which are reactive or positive, and like really try to give them guidance. But at the end of the day, we want to cooperate with doctors and work together with them, because they have to make the decision what happens. We just want to enable to easily test, and if there's anything, there are the profis in that field, and this is the doctors.
And what's the number one thing not to do when building a healthcare startup? And can you give a story or example of something that happened to you?
Yeah, there's
a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you probably shouldn't do. I mean, this is for a lot of startups probably the same, but you have to make the mistake always by yourself, because if you tell someone, don't do it, then they say, it's a good advice, but they still do it. So with us is that we really put a lot of money into advertisement and try to advertise to a target group which wasn't the right group for us, because they are just wanted to be attracted differently, and didn't react so much to the marketing. We lost quite a bit of money, and I mean, that's also the learnings, but always probably my recommendation is, and that's how we do it now, have smaller budgets, try more channels, see how can I attempt my target group, and then step in there.
Cool. Smaller budgets, more channels.
Exactly, I would definitely do it this way. Because big budgets, one channel, and the channel doesn't work, then
you're kind of screwed.
You're kind of screwed, And also, of course, depending on the times we are in now, with all the recession, not too many VCs are pumping out money into marketing, which we had maybe 2 years ago. You have to really look, okay, where do I put my money in, and how do I can reach profitability, or even break even, so that you also can survive and give the best service to your patients.
And did you guys raise VC, or did you bootstrap?
Not yet. We bootstrap, but also, of course, have some business angels, mostly from the medical field, working together with gynecologists and urologists, but also with GPs, to expand more and more in the market. Also look what are other markers which we can offer to our target group. We're looking for an HPV testing, so breast cancer protection, and also for the men, everything around the prostate cancer is field which we are looking into and which we want to support. So at the moment we just took in some business angel for knowledge, and we're gonna probably then look to raise around next year.
Next year to kind of scale to other markets.
Exactly, scale, and of course also internationalize. Because I think if you survive the German market, then you're good to go for Europe.
Yeah, I've heard that. And then finally, what's the one impact you want to leave on the world with Remi?
So, I mean, I roughly said that. So like 0 HIV, but additionally to that, really destigmatize the topic. So STI testing should be as normal as going to the doctor if you have a cough, because this can happen and you don't need to shame on that. And it's a normal thing where you could also you should talk to your friends about it in a group and said, yeah, I had that, but I got quick treatment, nothing happened. The same like when you're sick, because it's nothing more than that. And that's what we try to do with Remi, with our branding, to really try to help everyone to get easily assessed and testing on STIs.